Hello everyone, so this is going to be Gameweek 6 review and Gameweek 7 preview video. Pretty decent week. Another green arrow. And after a really slow start, things are moving quick. Things are going forward. Sunday was pretty bad. I lost around 200k rank in spite of having 3 players. In spite of having 2 of the most popular Arsenal picks as well. And Saturday was actually really good and very exciting as well because, of course, if you are following me on Twitter, if you watched my last video, you'd know that I captained Nico Williams and I went against the template captain pick of Game Week 6, Erling Haaland. So it was thrilling. It was a lot of fun watching, that City game, praying that Haaland doesn't get a big haul. Initially, of course, praying that Haaland doesn't get a start, but it was quite as things happened, it was quite clear that he was going to start eventually because, not a lot of time this happens that a player has an opportunity to score 3 hat-tricks in a row. And I'm sure, Pep, no matter, how much of a Pep roulette that we face in FPL, this was something which probably, it's a moral boost for a player and he had to give Haaland that opportunity. So anyway, let's start with the points. So I started Danny Ward at goal instead of Ramsdale. This was another very differential kind of a thought. Now Ramsdale was flat, but that was not the reason because the rumor said that he was okay. He was going to play. The reasoning was simple. I had a very strong feeling that Man United are going to score at Old Trafford, even if it's against Arsenal. And that obviously means beforehand I'm starting the game thinking that my goalkeeper is not going to keep a clean sheet. So why not try the other one? Brighton though are playing really well. They're very strong defensively, but their offensive numbers are not as great, and especially their home form even last season and this season, of course. I remember when I picked Solly March in Game Week 3. I remember watching an interview of his where he was saying the pitch is very dry, and as the game progresses, it gets difficult for the players to run and to pass the ball, and that is why we have a lot of low-scoring games at the MX, and that was my reasoning behind going with Danny Ward. It actually paid off quite well. Danny Ward, even though Leicester were really poor, and Danny Ward himself was quite poor. And I'm not sure going forward, he's going to keep his place for long. But yeah, he made 7 saves, 2 save points, and that is all we had from him. But 2 points were actually more than what Sanchez managed because Leicester just did not offer anything. And of course, Leicester scored 2 goals, but other than that, they barely offered. Especially the second half, I think Leicester was so incredibly poor going forward. And they barely created anything. Madison had a poor game. And he looked so frustrated as well. And yeah, those 2 save points ensured that Ramsdale also got 2 points. So that kind of evens it up. And he outscored Robert Sanchez, who's currently the hottest goalkeeper out there. So yeah, it worked out fine enough for me. And then going to my defense, Alexander-Arnold, and I really feel for people who have both Alexander-Arnold and Robertson. Liverpool kept a clean sheet and somehow both of them managed to escape that. Alexander-Arnold came off in the 59th minute in the typical Pep Guardiola style. The interesting thing is Trent actually came off quite early in the previous game as well. And this one was a bit of a shocker because, Liverpool were chasing the game. And it just, as a Liverpool fan, it just did not make any sense to me that why should Trent Alexander-Arnold come off when Liverpool are trying to score a goal? Because he's our main creator. And yeah, we actually struggled. And I'll have to say, Liverpool not managing to score a goal against Everton in that game eventually, a part of it probably goes to Klopp himself has to take some of the blame as well. Because his team selection was quite brave. He actually started both Carvalho and Elliott, but the substitutions just did not make any sense to me. Anyway, bad luck. I think this is probably the time to move on Robertson now. Because Liverpool's fixtures going forward defensively are not that great. Can he get returns? Of course he can. But Robertson has been coming off quite early as well. In all the games Tsimikas has come on. So if you have Robertson, and you've probably lost some value on him as well, and I think his value is going to drop further. So if you have him, probably the perfect time to perfect time was actually maybe a couple of weeks back. But right now, I think you have to move away from that Liverpool double defense. So just a 1-pointer from Alexander-Arnold. Joao Cancelo got 2 points. Big at the back. Not working at all. Not working at all. And yeah, I actually transferred out Kyle Walker this week. And I'm so glad that I did, because this is the first transfer this season of mine that actually worked. And Kieran Trippier came in. Newcastle kept a clean sheet. They conceded a lot of shots. Nick Pope got a 12-pointer. That pretty much sums up, how much shots Newcastle are conceding. But they're keeping clean sheets. And Trippier, of course, is a very good free kick taker. And he takes the other set pieces as well. So I'm very happy to have him in my team finally. And yeah, so Walker scored 2 points, Trippier got 8, so gained 6 points with the transfer this week. Reece James, just a point. I think Chelsea were very lucky to get a victory against West Ham. That should have been a draw. I don't know what the refereeing was. I mean, it's poor every week, but this week was something else, There's so many decisions, so many very obvious decisions, which it just does not make sense. People are watching, some people blame the VR. I don't blame VR. I don't blame the technology. I blame the people who were not using the technology before, and they're using it then, and they're interpreting it the same way as if it's non-existent. Anyway, so Reece James, Chelsea's fixtures going forward are pretty strong, so I'm not that worried. I think he'll do well. Chilwell actually came on and played really well, so he looks fit. I don't know if he's 100% fit or not, but if you have Cucurella, I think the race is run. You have to let go of him now. And if you want to double up on Chelsea's defense, which I don't think is a great idea, go with someone like Fofana. Fofana is just 4-4. What an insane value to get into that Chelsea defense. And yeah, but Chelsea are not keeping a lot of clean sheets, and they're not. It's quite visible that defensively they're not great at the moment. Nico Williams. This was such a heartbreak, That first half, Nottingham Forest were leading 2-0. Nico got an assist. And suddenly, deep within, the dream was there. If I could get a double pointer out of him. And that was absolutely crushed in that second half. Bournemouth came back into that game. I can't even complain. It's not even like a freakish, 90th minute goal to break that clean sheet. Nottingham Forest conceded 3 goals. So eventually it was, I think, whatever it be. I was really glad that I took the chance, because I considered all the options. This was not a pick which came out of like strong emotions or anything. This was a logical move on my part, because I looked at all the options and I genuinely thought Salah in that early kickoff against Everton, it's probably not going to be a very high scoring game, because Everton are defending quite well, especially the wide areas. I think they're defending really well. And anyway, I don't, it's a psychological thing as well. If your captain blanks in the first game of the week, and then it kind of spoils your viewing experience for the rest of the week as well. So that is why I don't do it. And Jesus was playing against Man United, and that was going to be a tough game as well. So, and then of course the popular pick Haaland. There was an outside chance he couldn't miss out, and so many people were captaining Haaland as well. So I saw that as an opportunity where so many people have the potential to score just a point, and striking against that. That was my idea behind going with Nico Williams. Yeah, but it did not pay off. The captaincy actually cost me 5 points because Haaland scored 9 points and Nico just got 4. But yeah, fair. That's okay. Salah blanked, of course, 3 points. I'm not selling him, definitely. I know a lot of people are selling him, but whom are going to buy? Are going to spread out the funds? Midfielders are not scoring a lot of points anyway. You may want to bring in Kevin De Bruyne, but then what De Bruyne can do, Salah can do as well. You may bring in Harry Kane. Salah is kind of matching those players as well. So why just remove him and take the chance? I'm not, and especially me being a Liverpool fan, of course, that is not going to happen so soon. It will take a lot more than just a couple of blanks for me to let go of Mo Salah. Anyway, so Martinelli scored a goal. I did not think that was a foul. It was, Odegaard flicked the ball, and it was. I mean, there was some contact, but that goal goes in. Probably it's a much more interesting game. Arsenal take the lead, and Man United now need to come at them, and that might have opened that game up. But United are actually defending pretty well right now, and yeah, I mean, once again, video assistant referee killing the game. There is Martinelli continues to deliver. I think he had a pretty good game again, and I'm very happy holding him. At least in the next couple of weeks, and then let's see what happens. So again, just 2 midfielders. I benched Jack Harrison. It was a late decision. I was not really satisfied with what I saw in the previous game against Everton. He was really poor, and I did not see this game, but he came off at halftime, which is just not a good sign. And he has gone up in price. He's just gone up in price, which gives me that 0.1 bracket, to sell him off in the next week. I'm not sure though. I wanted to let him go this week. He's playing Nottingham Forest. Having come off at halftime, it doesn't even give me confidence that he's going to start the next game. But yeah, he's one of the most important players. I hope it was just because of a rest or it was related to fatigue or something. And yeah, at least one more week now I'm going to hold him, and then let's see. Andres Pereira, Fulham are playing so well, and I actually want to start Andres Pereira in the next game against Chelsea. But at the moment, I don't have that spot in my starting 11. So anyway, we'll talk about team selection later. And De Silva, he just came on. Brentford played really well against Leeds. And up front, my starman Ivan Toney finally delivers. Oh, it was so disappointing the last 2 weeks. Mitrovic kept on scoring, and I went with Toney, and he blanked. He got a 2-pointer and then a 1-pointer. But 17 points. I don't think I get a green arrow this week if Toney doesn't do what he did. So I owe my green arrow to him 100%. What a performance, and what brilliant goals. The free kick was insane, and the third goal, what a finish. And that those kind of goals tell you that this is a guy who's absolutely is on the top of his confidence. And his posts on social media after that really perked me up as well, because he's going for that striker spot in the England squad for the World Cup, and I really hope he gets it, because he offers something very different from what someone like Harry Kane does, and England suddenly do not really have a lot of options because Calvert-Lewin is injured. He's going to go, of course, and here rest of the players, Watkins has had a bit of dip in form. Who else is there? So I really hope Ivan Toney can make it to the squad. He's playing really well, and I was actually thinking about setting him off next week if he blanked again and Mitrovic scored. Now Mitrovic, of course, scored. It's so difficult, Suddenly the strikers are getting all the points. It's so difficult to not being tempted by Mitrovic, and he scored in 5 games. I really want to have Mitrovic as well. His fixtures are insane from Gameweek 8 onwards. And let's see. I want to bring him in, but I don't know if I want to get rid of Ivan Toney as well. Jesus, 2 points. 1 point. Actually, he got booked as well. So just a point. Now, Jesus has not actually been delivering a lot recently. He just got that massive 19-pointer in Gameweek 2 against Leicester. Other than that, it's been very... It's been very humble. He blanked in Gameweek 1. He blanked in Gameweek 4 as well. So yeah, in spite of that really high ownership, it's actually tempting. Mitrovic is getting the points, and in spite of the ownership and everything, and Arsenal's fixtures do turn quite bad from Gameweek 8 onwards. So maybe I'll have to give it a thought. Maybe Mitrovic could come in for Jesus. Haaland, I was hoping he does not score. It did. 10 goals now. He's going to be the perma captain of this. He's going to be the Salah of the season. You have to, if you want to gain significantly, you have to go against the wave. You have to predict the week where Haaland doesn't get the points, and you have to strike. That is quite obvious right now. Yeah, but he played the full 90 minutes, and I was quite surprised actually he did. Because, of course, City were chasing the game. Not exactly chasing the game, but they were trying to win that game, and it was 0-0 for a while. And of course, when you do not have the game already won, you're going to keep your main striker on the pitch, and that is exactly what happened. So now, of course, City play in the Champions League, and then next week they play against Tottenham at home. I'm sure Haaland is going to start both those games. And yeah, so that pretty much sums up my game week 6. I got... How much point did I score? I scored 54, I think. Total score is 373 that I remember. And my rank went up to 1.2 million from 1.6. At one point I was just, if I had captained Haaland, I would be inside top 1 million right now. And in a way it feels like, what if I did? But of course, this is why you play the game. You play your own game. Very cliched lines, but that's the reality, and you have to own up to your decisions, and that is completely fine. It's a long way forward. I actually bridged the gap in almost all of our mini leagues. That is something, the gap was somewhere around 50-60 points 2 weeks ago, and now it's somewhere around 30-35 points. So yeah, very happy with that as well. Anyway, so let's move on to Game Week 7 preview. And I have already made my transfer this week. Again, I think having a pretty decent squad, pretty template squad gives, and an extra goalkeeper, of course, on the bench as well. All these things give you that license of making those early transfers and building up your team value. Now, the main reason why I made this transfer was because I'm going to sell Ramsdale pretty soon because Arsenal's fixtures going forward, especially in terms of defense, are not great. I may consider keeping likes of Jesus and Martinelli, but of course I'm not going to hold Ramsdale beyond Gameweek 7 or 8. And then, of course, I saw his price was about to drop. He might fall on Tuesday, so that is why I just sold him and bought in Robert Sanchez. And Brighton are defending so well. They conceded 2 goals, but in general, I think they're probably the most free-flowing side in the Premier League right now, other than City and Arsenal. And yeah, I'm happy to have Sanchez back. He was quite boring last year. He has actually not been that boring this year. And yeah, so my transfer is already done. 6 days to go. But yeah, it's sorted. In defense, Alexander-Arnold plays against Wolverhampton. Reece James plays against... Whom are Chelsea playing? I don't remember exactly. But anyway, Reece James is there. Cancelo is there. Kieran Trippier is there against West Ham. Nico Williams finally goes to the bench after starting for 3 out of last 4 weeks. I'm still waiting for some points from him, and I'm sure that there will be an opportunity. He cannot be the Luke Ayling of this year. Someone who keeps playing so well and just does not transform into points. So yeah, it's for the back. Martinelli, Salah. Now at the moment I'm starting Jack Harrison. I'm not 100% sure. It's a choice between Harrison and Andres Pereira, and the reason I'm playing Harrison right now is because the Leeds game is going to be on TV. It's the last game of the week as well. Now you want to have a player. It's a psychological thing again. You want to have a player in the final game of the week, because otherwise your rank at that point, whatever rank you're holding, it's going to drop. And yeah, Leeds at home, good atmosphere. I'm going to watch that game on TV, of course. So that is why currently I have Harrison, but of course I don't even know if he's got an injury or something. Maybe that is why he came off in the 45th minute. Maybe it was tactical, but depending on the team news and injury updates, at the moment he's starting. Then I've got Ivan Toney. It's going to be tougher than last week for sure. And yeah, I've got Jesus, of course. Jesus and Haaland, the 2 template picks. The captaincy is right now on Erling Haaland again. The thing with Haaland is that, the next game is against Tottenham. And I'm expecting this to actually be a really, really good game. It was a really good game last year as well. It is going to be a tactical battle, and I'm actually expecting this to be a high-scoring game, and which obviously means that the likes of Haaland and Kane, De Bruyne, Son, Kulusevski, these guys are going to be involved, and that is why I'm having my captaincy on Erling Haaland, because the rest of the options, as I see it, Salah against Wolverhampton holds up pretty good at defense. He's going to be highly captained, of course, because of course Liverpool are playing at home. And Jesus plays Everton. Everton are again pretty good in defense right now. So yeah, this is my team, and hopefully I'm hoping to make into. I'm 4 points away from top 1 million. I'm 35 points away from top 100k. I was around 35 points away from 1 million couple of weeks back. So yeah, good progress so far. Anyway, so yeah, this is it. I'll see you next week. Yeah.